Hey friends, welcome to Enterclimate, a leading environmental consultancy. My name is Diksha Khetani. My today's video will enlighten you about the rules governing the transboundary movement of hazardous waste. So stay tuned till the end. Quick industrialization in the last few years has resulted in the exhaustion of natural resources and a rise in pollution in India. In addition, industrialization has also resulted in vast heaps of hazardous waste, posing a threat to the environment and human health. Thus, systematic disposal and scientific treatment of produced waste are unavoidable. This led to the introduction of effective rules governing the transboundary movement of hazardous waste. These guidelines are stipulated under the Hazardous Waste Management, Handling and Transboundary HWMrules drafted by MoEF&CC. So here's a quick review of the rules governing the transboundary movement. The HWM rules came into effect to guarantee safe generation, handling, treatment, processing, storage, package, use reprocessing, transportation, collection, conversion, offering for sale, disposal and destruction of hazardous waste. You might have heard of the Basel Convention to control the transboundary movement of hazardous waste and disposal. So now let us discuss in brief in this section of the video. The first inclusive attempt at regulating hazardous waste came in the form of the Basel Convention, which was adopted on 22nd March 1989 in Switzerland. The Basel Convention aims to protect the environment and human health. The scope of application of the convention covers a wide range of wastes outlined as hazardous waste. The Basel Convention aims to number 1. Restrict the transboundary movement of hazardous waste except where it is supposed to be complying with the ethics of environmentally sound management. Number 2. Reduce hazardous waste generation and promotion its environmentally sound management at the place of disposal. And number 3. Form a regulatory system applying to cases where transboundary movements are allowed. Well, so now I will be explaining the principal rules governing the transboundary movement of hazardous waste. Lately, two main principal rules govern the things. Defined in the Basel Convention, these two principles are waste handling in an environment friendly way and prior informed consent. By stating an environmentally friendly manner, it is indicated that the waste must be handled proactively so that it doesn't harm the surroundings. On the other hand, prior informed consent means that the transit state or the recipient must be fully informed of the hazardous waste that is about to enter its territory. Also, it must accept such waste by giving its consent. If this consent is not provided, the transboundary movement of hazardous waste isn't allowed. Also, the waste must be reported in case the decision is violated. Let us now discuss the cases where import and export of hazardous waste to or from India is illegal. The import and export deemed is illegal if number 1. The permission has been obtained through misinterpretation, falsification, fraud, or number 2. It is without the consent of the central government as per the rules, or number 3. It leads to deliberate dumping. Number 4. It doesn't adhere to shipping details mentioned in the movement documents. Okay, so now there are some areas where these rules do not apply. These are waste resulting from the ship operation beyond 5 kilometers of the applicable baseline exhaust gases and wastewater, biomedical waste, radioactive waste, waste included under the Municipal Solid Waste Management and Handling Rules 2000. So here are the roles and responsibilities. As per the rules, the hazardous waste of the occupier, operator and exporter or importer of the disposal facility stand responsible for all the damages caused to the third party or environment because of improper management and handling of hazardous and other waste. Every occupier engaged in generation, handling, collection, packaging, storage, transportation, treatment, use, recycling, pre-processing, recovery, processing, utilization, offering for sale, co-processing, disposal or transfer of hazardous and other waste must apply in Form 1 to the SPCB. This must be done to obtain the authorization mandated by the rules governing the transboundary movement of hazardous waste. The authorization must be obtained within 60 days from the date of rules publication. Also, MoEF&CC is the nodal ministry to deal with the import and export of waste accordingly. Well, now let us talk about the strategy for import and export of transboundary movement of hazardous and other waste. Importing hazardous and other waste from any nation is allowed only for recovery, recycling and utilization, including co-processing and reuse. No transboundary movement of hazardous waste from any nation to India for disposal will be allowed. According to the rules, no import of hazardous waste specified in Schedule 6 is allowed. The import and export of hazardous waste not mentioned in Schedule 3 but displaying the hazardous characteristics must have prior written permission from the ministry before its transboundary movement from India. Transportation of hazardous waste, the occupier must update the transport with the appropriate information in Form 9. The Transboundary Movement rules and the guidelines by CPCB and the norms by the central government under the Motor Vehicles Act 1988 must be adhered to. In the case of transporting hazardous waste for final disposal to an establishment located in a state other than where the waste is produced, the sender must send a NOC from the SPCB of both the states. In case transboundary movement of the hazardous waste, the responsibility of safe transport must be either of the receiver or sender whosoever arranges the transport and holds the necessary authorization from the specific SPCB. So here I reach the end of my video where it must be concluded that there is no denying that hazardous waste are sometimes shipped or from to other nations for disposal, treatment or recycling. Therefore, the rules governing the transboundary movement of hazardous waste are based on economic and environmental grounds